Hello and welcome to Doing Business in Rwanda. For a period of 10 years, Rwanda was without rhinos as poaching had wiped them out. In 2017, they were introduced in the country. Today, we've witnessed a reintroduction of 5 more rhinos into the Akagera National Park, which offers a huge boost to conservation and tourism efforts. Welcome. My name is Stephen Muvunyi. It was a long trip from Europe, where the 5 eastern black rhinos have been living in zoos, to Rwanda, their new habitat. They are in critical danger of extinction, with less than 1,000 of them left in the world. It was the largest ever translocation of rhinos from Europe to Africa.
These are 3 females and 2 males, and we sincerely hope that they will breed as soon as possible here. The reason why we did this is that we know that Rwanda lost their rhinos in 2007, but Rwanda is trying to get the new population, and to have this population sustainable, you need a large genetic variability of the rhinos that you have. And so this is the reason why we brought those 5, because it will enhance genetic variability of the rhinos in Rwanda.
Due to Rwanda's commitment to conservation, its national parks are remarkably safe and poaching is almost non-existent. This was an important factor that was based on in choosing the country to host the animals.
And the reason why we decided to get them to Rwanda is that we knew already from 4 or 5 years ago that Akagera is a prime habitat for a black rhino and that they used to live here. So we went in 2016 to see the place, and we saw how management of the park Akagera works, and we were really satisfied. But we met even with the government officials, and we were equally satisfied with the commitment of the government of Rwanda to the conservation. So these were the times from which discussion started. We wanted to see whether if we send rhinos to Rwanda, whether everything will be done to keep them safe and to help them to breed. Because we saw that both government and management of the park are committed to this cause, we decided to bring them here. Those rhinos were chosen by a coordinator of breeding of rhinos in Europe, and all the rhinos are donated to the people of Rwanda. So Rwanda got them for free, and we decided to raise money even for the transport. And it costed us, and with a huge help from individual donors, from supporters, from many zoos, the costs reached almost $200,000.
The rhinos translocation from Europe was described as a big boost to conservation in Rwanda, where they were absent for 10 years until they were introduced in 2017.
We have an existing population of 20 black rhinos, and we just brought these 5, so now we have 25, and we really hope for the future and that they thrive and multiply from there. It's a phenomenal boost for conservation. Rhinos themselves as a species. I said to some earlier that there's only 900 of them left in the world. We have 25 now in Rwanda, so it's phenomenal for conservation for rhinos. They're in another country, they're safe, and it's phenomenal for Rwanda to get on the status of conservation really as one of the leaders in Africa, but also to boost tourism.
Well, this is a very great achievement to Rwanda, to the government of Rwanda. They were very honored and grateful to receive this magnificent donation from a European association of zoos and aquarium, and it means a lot in terms of it means big in terms of conservation and tourism. One is an achievement that we've just made, implementing a plan of rhino meta-population that has been a recommendation of by IUCN Rhino Specialty Group, and we thank all that have facilitated our achievement. Secondly, we anticipate that the 5 rhinos are going to give to young ones that are going to actually grow in this kind of condition and be able to be released in the wilderness, and that means that a future integration of the existing population, viable population, and viable population that have just donated to us, that will actually give a stronger genes for future generations that will take us for more and more years as that is our wish and target.
The 5 eastern black rhinos are already here in their new home in Akagera National Park in Rwanda. They will have to get accustomed to this place before they get released into the wild.
These animals were born in a zoo, were raised in a zoo, so they are different from those that were brought here from South Africa. In the first days and the weeks after the translocation, they have to be in the bomas that are behind me, and they have to be fed with something what they were fed in the zoo already. And this will be slowly phased out, and they will slowly get accustomed to acacias that grow here around and to the natural food that they would be on here in Rwanda. So this is one thing. The other thing is that we brought even our keepers, because they know them, so it will be easier for them to acclimatize if they are here with someone they know. The other thing that we did is that we actually got all the rhinos together in November last year already to get them know each other. So imagine yourself, if you would have to go to some place that you wouldn't know, it would be much easier for you if you would go there with your friends. So that's what we did with rhinos. We made a friends between them, and then we brought them here. So it will be easier for them to cope with the new situation.
Yeah, we wouldn't ask or bring these rhinos here if we didn't feel we could look after them. And it comes down to the hard work, law enforcement, ensuring the security of the rhinos, ensuring the habitat is correct. So now they've come from the zoos, they've been looked after there. It's our duty to look after them. It's our duty to slowly make them wild and become free with nature and hopefully thrive and reproduce and multiply.
An increase in number of rhinos in Rwanda not only complements conservation efforts, but also bolsters tourism. This presents a critical impetus to the country's goal of doubling annual revenues from the sector to $800 million by 2024 from $400 million currently.
The more we get these, the more revenues mushrooming from tourism. And I want to tell you that the more we make more money out of what we conserve, the more we're able to sustain ourselves and be self-reliant without relying to donation anymore. And then also, in terms of tourism, tourism in Rwanda remains number one foreign currency current exchange that generates millions of dollars, and we've had a target of doubling our tourism revenues from 400 plus to 800 in 2024. So we have no doubt that this is a mega contribution to our milestone, to our target. And then also this kind of milestone will also contribute to longer of our visitors staying in the country. And the more they stay, the more money they spend. And that also increases the kind of revenue sharing percentage that we expect that goes direct to adjacent communities. So this is a win-win. Actually, it's an achievement for Rwanda for conservation and tourism.
Following successful translocation of the black rhinos, the park management considers bringing more species in the park.
First was targeting species that used to exist in our ecosystems, and particularly to Akagera, it's like we've hit the target, but that's not an end in itself. We also tend to look at further reintroduction of other species that would add value to our tourism, especially white rhinos. They never used to be here, but this is a viable habitat that we think they can survive along with the black rhinos, because they will never compete. The black rhinos are browsers and the other are grazers, so they can coexist in this ecosystem of Akagera. So that would be probably, I'm not saying we're going to do it tomorrow, but probably that would be the next plan.
And that's all on today's episode of Doing Business in Rwanda. Remember to send your feedback on email at dbiro@abn360.com, tweet us at dbirwanda, or myself at Stephen Muvunyi. Thanks for watching.